Hello friends and welcome back to a new episode of Noobs in Disguise, where the concept is very simple. One anonymous replay, two pro gamers with one guess each to figure out what the MMR of the player is that we're currently following. And today that's going to be the blue Protoss player called Thunder. As always, I'm joined by Lambo. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm very happy to be here, as PvP is kind of my domain nowadays, since I do off-race with Protoss a bunch, and ever since the Sentry change, I do like the matchup a lot more. And
Yes,
this already looks alright.
Wait, it does?
It looks alright, yeah.
Did you
they're
see the
making
red
probes
player?
consistently.
Okay, yeah. In that way. We're lacking the second Chrono boost. We have not a whole lot of gas mining going on in the red base at least. I'm not entirely sure what blue is doing either. He's adding a very late second gate, which doesn't make much sense. You have the money to build a gate and a cyber core. Like you can just build the gate earlier and it doesn't really stop anything. You also have a probe cut here. This isn't the highest level. But yeah, I'm also a big fan of the PvP right now, Lambo. We're true enjoyers of the Protoss versus Protoss in the current meta.
Yes. Well, we'll see how long it holds up for me, but it is so much better than it was before for me personally that just makes me happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Ooh, double Zealot as an opener. This is either the completely new meta that I'm not quite familiar with, or it's just a bad build order. Usually we don't see Zealots built in the very early game, because without charge, they can't actually attack any of the units. They get outmaneuvered by literally every single unit, except for the Sentry, I guess. But then the Sentries have force fields, and also you usually don't just exclusively build Sentries in the early game. And even if you do nowadays, they're so good.
Yeah.
Probably fine against the 2 Zealot rush. Also worried about that. And we have a second pylon here being built on top of the ramp as well, which is kind of in a weird position. If you would have built it in like the more bottom spot, you would have been capable of full walling this temporarily with, for example, a gateway or with a core. And I guess now that's going to be possible after this pylon finish, although it's going to look a bit weird. Maybe you can't even. I don't think you can with a wall like this. Can you fit a gateway in for a full wall, you think?
I think you can, yeah. If he destroys the rocks. Or do you mean the top?
No, the top layer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he can for sure.
I've been exclusively looking at the red player so far for no real reason.
Yeah, because the blue one is the one that submitted the replay. who's also has an interesting pattern positioning. Either way, he's now defending his shield battery. He saw the 2 zealots coming. Shield battery a little forward for defending against the zealots, but in the end he should still win that fight. Good focus fire by the red player for a little bit there. Now he messed it up a couple times.
Yeah, overall decent enough trade here for Thunder, I think. I think he's going to be okay with this, given the fact that he has a Nexus pretty much done already. This was the big attack that was coming. The Zealots died. Yes, he ends up losing his own battery and a Sentry. It's not going to be the end of the world. We have a Robotics Facility plus Twilight Council being added in as well. A small stop in the pro production, which I guess makes sense given the context of being attacked this early, not getting any good information with your scouting. Like, this has to be pretty scary here. So I like that he's warping in a Sentry at this point.
Yeah, he has no clue what's going on. It could, for all he knew, it could also just be Oricus flying into his base at any moment. You know, because the other guy saved some gas with going double Zealot when the core was already done, and then double Stalker. But our man Thunder does not even think about it. He just doesn't have a battery in the main, no Stalkers, no care in the world, which works out fantastic here.
Indeed it does. Oracle would have given him quite a bit of trouble, and that's not what we would have wished upon our thunderous blue player. Prism coming out, no. Cancel on the Prism. Now starts an Immortal. Still afraid, perhaps, of something. I mean, literally all that Thunder has seen so far this game is aggression out of the opponent. Would love to see Hallucination being used there, and that's indeed what we're seeing. This feels like decent level. The macro is okay. The build order was not good, but the macro feels okay. The general understanding of, you know, defense, and like, I like it. I really do kind of like this.
Yeah. I think more so from Thunder than from Block, because Block, as he was attacking, he already was floating like 700, 800 minerals, and then only made the Nexus, so that's a little bit worse, and that's also not really something where I can see him kill a lot of Protoss players, no matter what they're doing. Even if they were to one base, I'm not sure that what he did was good. So, yeah, I like what Thunder does a lot more than what Block does.
Yeah, same. It just seems to make a lot more sense to me. I like the Sentry Stalker opener. I like the battery that he built as well, just for safety's sake in the early game. And now we're going into a Blink Immortal type of vibe game. Both players building a couple of gates. We have a Robo Bay coming down. This could be for Colossus or Disruptors. It is way too early for a high-level game Robo Bay, though. Like, this is not okay. We usually only see the Robo Bay once you're up until 4, maybe even 5 bases. Really, most of the time you want to have a 4 base. Or if you're in a terrible spot and just camp on 3 bases, we sometimes see it. The problem with the Robo Bay, of course, is that the moment you start investing a lot in Disruptors and Colossus, you give your opponent a lot of freedom to move on the map. They're expensive structures. The units out there are very expensive, take a long time to kind of get online and become useful. That the moment you build a Robo Bay, you tend to give up a lot of map control.
That is true. What? Okay, as Block is attacking right now, he does not have any sentries himself, and he already has less units than Thunder.
And no blink.
So I'm not sure. Yeah, and no blink. So this really shouldn't work out in any world, in any universe. But he does kill a couple of sentries, and Thunder is not really blinking. He's actually using the War Prism as a blink.
Yeah, so I can save the real blink. That's a good move.
Hey,
Double blink. Usually you see the blink back first with the Stalker. This guy's using the Prism first. He's changing it up. I don't mind it. Wait, where did the other unit? Did he recall?
He recalled, yeah, he recalled. He was afraid. Honestly, not a bad call, because his blink was not done yet. Maybe he was starting to get scared. You know, sometimes I micro mostly with a Prism, whenever I'm not sure if the Stalkers have the blink on cooldown or not. And yeah, I mean, this could not have been the case for Thunder, because he literally used blink 0 times there. I just wanted to add it.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have a hotkey for it. It's possible. Just research it.
Why does he research it?
Yeah. For fun.
Yeah.
Clicked it in the research center. It's fine. Forge on the way now for him as well. He's up a base once more, or up half a base, I would say. This block is also about to finish his base. 44 workers to 51. Supply advantage for Thunder. I do believe that Disruptors are going to be very powerful at this level. It doesn't feel like the micro is the tightest or the quickest. And in that case, Disruptors can be very difficult to fight against.
Yeah, at the same time, I think Chargets are also going to be better at this level than Stalkers in general. I would probably, if I was to give advice to these guys, it would be to just not go blink at all. Like, just make some Immortals to be safe against the other guys' blink Stalkers, and then go charge a lot, because you don't need to micro that much.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they're going to do anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure it's exactly what you said. They see all the pros go blink. I don't think the meta at this level should be you go blink. Because they don't know how to use it.
Yeah, the meta at this level should be Charge-Lot Archon against Charge-Lot Archon, most likely. Maybe even get Colossus in there, like Charge-Lot Archon, Colossus, Immortal. Just like fat units that deal a lot of damage. And then don't require a whole lot of control. Double Forge now behind this for Block. He's getting a second robotics facility as well, while pumping out Disruptors at a relatively high pace. Templar Archives also being added into the mix. Not a huge fan of this setup here. This is a lot of gas that needs to be invested for all of these structures to be remotely useful, and the gas is simply not here. He's mining off of 6 gas right now. Like this type of infrastructure, you're gonna need closer to 10 gases, honestly. At least 8 for this to be somewhat viable.
If he is using his structures and actually producing units, which he's not doing right now. He already has a Robo, now a second one done. And he's not making anything, so I guess he's just preparing for poor macro, which in a way is I respect, you know.
Yeah, but I would have preferred seeing more gates first in that case. I think 4 gates is very low. I think triple Robo.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I'm also not entirely sure about the Templar Archives, although he's floating quite a bit of gas. So, you know, pish posh. Maybe it's fine. We have a bunch of Zealots being added into the mix here for Thunder as well, who started researching his +2 and has 2 Disruptors out. Relatively calm game so far.
Yeah. I wonder if, because you said the Disruptors are basically never good, there's this new style where they go normal 3-base and then they go Glaives Immortal. I can switch sometimes if I scout it very early, I throw down a Robo Bay, and even just getting 2 Disruptors against it feels like it's GG.
Yeah.
Okay, that's no micro there. From Thunder, and Block scouting a little bit for the opposing army. Sending forward some Disruptors one by one, I like it.
Oh, he's gonna get another Stalker. Almost got a Disruptor there in the mix as well. Yeah, this is cool. I think this is absolutely not viable at the high level, but I guess this is what Disruptor wars look like. You know, when both players don't have 400 APM. And they're just...
400? Not even the pro gamers.
400 APM, yeah?
Yeah, not all of them. I've seen pro players play.
You don't want
don't
400 APM because many guys with 400 APM. Nah, nah.
you don't need 400 APM to play a proper Disruptor war.
No, at least. That's why I always win them. It's faster than the other guys. That's why.
Okay.
This is ridiculous. Proper Disruptor need to be very fast. What is this? Now you need a lot of APM to spam roaches and move them around. Come on, get together. Disruptor is intense. It requires a brain, understanding of movement, understanding the timing. You need to see when things are about to shoot, and you need to anticipate it.
Yeah, none of that has to do with clicking buttons.
No, you do, because you have to click fast as well to anticipate it. You need to be everywhere at the same time. You don't look at your army for 2 seconds, boom, everything gone. You don't look at a roach fight for 2 seconds, you just run away 2 seconds later, no problem. No biggie. Yes, you know it's true. You're laughing, but you're deflecting here. We have Observer Speed finishing up for Thunder. Dark Shrines pretty much mirrored here. Oh, some big Disruptor shots. Some nice blink forwards as well. As Disruptors going down on all sides. Units just literally going down on all sides. This is a wild fight.
This is a wild fight. I wish he would send the Zealots somewhere else. They're just walking with the army, not doing anything. If he A-moved at any moment, he would have just won the game, for sure. But since he's not doing that, at least use the Zealots and run by. But I think he doesn't have a second hotkey, which is... Or he doesn't know how to use alt. Like stealing.
Yeah. That's
stealing
possible.
Units. I think that's an advanced move. Reserved for Master League players most of the time.
Ooh. You don't think this is Master League?
What, are you kidding me? No.
Really?
You think this is Masters League?
Yeah, these guys know what to do. I mean, they're moving around. The Disruptor control isn't great, but you know they have cannons in bases. They infrastructure. Okay, never mind. Maybe it's not, but they don't look too bad. I kind of like it. Oh, DT as well being sent out right now. Multiple bases at the same time. Is that high Protoss APM once again in action?
Is he gonna save any of them?
Yeah.
Or are they just gonna run into cannons?
Yeah, no, he's being saved. The hold positioning here moves it again outside of cannon range. Nice play here coming out of block. This is a diamond level Protoss, by the way, according to you. He's doing this easily, no problem.
100%. There's no way this Masters. I mean, you can guess Masters. I'll be happy to continue my streak this season. But
we'll see about that. DT's continuing to smash some probes. Big blink back. He's gonna get picked off. Macro during this out of block, not perfect. Perhaps we could, make a footnote here or there. But I like it. I like it. We have what's the Disruptor count? 3 versus 4, 33 Stalkers versus 16. I feel like the 19 Zealots should be a much bigger deal in these fights. Like I think genuinely, if you can get a flank in at any point, you're just straight up gonna win. Also, with the amount of Stalkers that both players have, you can one-shot Disruptors. So if the Disruptor count isn't higher than 3, like that is an issue, because you're just gonna lose all of your Disruptors by the other guy blinking in. And then the A-move army that is stronger tends to win games. And currently, that actually belongs to Thunder.
I laugh how we've had 3 robots for the last 8 minutes and the man has like 2 Disruptors. Do you think this is Masters?
Okay. It's not bad.
Okay. Yeah, he's using the Zealots now as a run by, which is huge. He's blinking forward as well. Only 1 Disruptor left from block.
Yeah.
He blinks all of the Stalkers. Backwards as well, which is huge. Instead of into the Disruptor shot.
Yeah. Big multitasking. DT's being warped in defensively, an advanced move that we don't really see at the diamond level usually. So you have an Observer still spotting everything. This Observer is pissing me off just a tiny tad, especially because Block lost his own Observer to the opponent's Observer. So is aware of the fact that there is an Observer there and keeps trying to move forward with single Disruptors to get a sneaky Disruptor shot, which seems to be honestly the entire game plan of Block. You know what makes me the happiest watching this game? Is that I just know that while they were playing this felt like probably one of the most action-packed and multitask-heavy games that they've played in a long time, But when you're watching it, it doesn't really look that way. But it feels very tense, because at any moment, like the guy can just blink in forward, or a Disruptor shot can come flying in, DTs can hit anywhere. So this feels super tense. But when you're watching it, it doesn't really feel that way, because we have such a good overview of things.
It does, and we're also used to the Disruptors just being used off cooldown.
Yeah, of course, with 400 APM, it's no problem to have Disruptors constantly pumping these Purification Novas. That's what we do best at the high level Lambo. Observer still over here, pissing me off. 4 disruptors now being sent forward. I love just the shooting in the dark. That is such a high tier move. He's just kind of advancing, leapfrogging with disruptor shots. That's going towards the top. And he's going to hit none of them and now retreat with all of them. I mean, Thunder should have absolutely jumped on this opportunity to get some damage in. Triple observers do move forward, but the Zealots, well, they don't actually have the balls to continue charging in. I feel like there was an opportunity for a fight here. Thunder, still with some vision of this army, doesn't quite see where the disruptors are, so blinking in might be scary. DTs on the top side finally getting cleaned up as well, as the game is going back to a more calm state.
Yeah, Thunder actually killed the fort base of Block with a couple of DTs, but he's now going Storm, which I really never see. Going Storm after you already have disruptors is a really weird downgrade that, yeah, I don't think you really want in this matchup, because Storm just doesn't deal enough damage for this. And Block instead is going for carriers, which I think is the ultimate composition at this level. If you reach the carrier disruptor composition, I think he wins. So I think the timer is now on Thunder to do something, even though his bank is way bigger.
Yeah. Although, what are thoughts? We have another big attack. Carriers don't actually deal well with Archons if there are no disruptors to help out the carriers. And it is possible that once the disruptors go down on the side of Block, is that he will stop rebuilding them. You know, just kind of forget about them. It's like in the next phase of his life. It's like, I don't need disruptors anymore. Still has a couple of life though, so that's potentially going to be an issue. We now have a potentially big attack coming in. Bit of an attack from the top side over here. There's 3 Purification Novas, 4 Purification Novas available. Ooh!
Ooh. Well, there goes all the disruptors, so we'll see if your theory holds true, because for now Block is not producing any disruptors, as he's busy just making carriers.
Yeah.
Thunder also doesn't have any Archons though, so it's not like Thunder's army is great against carriers.
Yeah,
I would love for Block to hide his carriers for now a little bit, but I think that's also a little bit too much to ask for.
Yeah, hiding carriers is a cool move. Sometimes though, what you end up doing is you hide them for so long, and then you should have been using them in fights before already, you know? I sometimes done that in the past, where it's like, I only have 3, I want to wait till I have 6, and then you die with, 3 carriers AFKing in your main base. I should have used some of that 400 APM to send them to the fight at some point, I guess. As 5 more carriers here are being pumped out. 0 disruptors, as predicted. As we have another Zealot Rumba being sent towards the top side, which is good. This is good movement. Block at the same time also sending Stalkers and a DT towards the bottom side. And Stalkers now heading out towards, what is this, like the 2 o'clock base or so. So lots of action happening all around the map. We'll see who responds the best towards this.
Yeah, Block could defend the Zealot Rumba with DTs, but he doesn't have supply open, so he needs to wait until some of his Stalkers will die. He will get both bases himself, and he's even defending his base on top of that with his Stalkers. I think losing his probes in general is not even that bad, because if he gets like a massive army with the carries, which is exactly what he's doing right now, it's going to be so hard to beat. For Thunder, who's now getting his own Stargates, which is going to take a while for him to catch up on carriers, because he still would need even a Fleet Beacon. So he needs to work with ground, which he does have a fantastic upgrades on ground, and he even has Storm, which I'm not sure if you can ever go for killing interceptors with Storm.
No. Technically you can. I just think getting mass Archons would probably be better. This Stalker run by plus the 1 DT on the bottom side is going to get cleaned up. Does feel like Thunder smells a bit of a timing here. His Stalkers are pretty well upgraded as well, but if there are freaking, 9 carriers out, I don't think it really matters how good the upgrades are. Disruptor shots hitting. No. Good blink away. Block keeps most of his own Stalkers alive. Without Disruptors though, Archons have some serious potential. That is not what Thunder is going for. Thunder so far just planning on really getting a lot of Stalkers, sticking with the Immortals, Stormers, and that's about it. We don't even see a Fleet Beacon yet, have we? No.
No. I also really don't think you can have Sentries, High Templars, and Disruptors in an army like this. I don't think... Like, he's even struggling to just select his Stalkers and blink forward whenever this happens. So I think he should get rid of some of these. Preferably both High Templars, and maybe leave some Sentries for guard and shit. But I haven't seen him use it yet. These Sentries have been alive from the beginning of the game. As he's getting poked now by some of the carriers. His army just looks so tiny. It's not even that many Stalkers.
Yeah. Storms maybe now? No? A couple more Disruptor shots. It's gonna get some Stalkers. I feel like some Zoning Storms here would... well, not do a lot, but it would be cool to see at least. Yes, this is not a fight you can take, is it?
Well, he's
Harambo.
trying. He's blinking forward. There's no ground units from block under the carries, but it's almost as many carries as there are stalkers, so not really a fair fight.
You got one carrier, no? Yeah.
He never used the High Templars, nor the sentries. I guess Disruptors take priority over them?
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
I thought maybe High Templars should take priority, but...
I'm not sure actually. I'd hardly ever use. I don't use them in the same control group ever actually. So I would have no clue. We also have 3 Tempests being produced. Look at that, preempting his opponent's. Oh no, wait, that's Thunder building.
That's
the Tempest.
Thunder.
No wait, Block
Oh,
also
yeah.
has Tempest. I'm selecting them right now. Yeah.
Oh, he made 3 Tempests
Yeah.
already. That's like...
Yeah.
I feel like Thunder should just make Tempest, by the way, not 4 carriers and
Yeah,
3
yeah, yeah.
Tempest.
I think if you're behind in carrier count, the only thing you can do is go for Tempest. It makes a lot of sense. Then you just get enough so you can one-shot carriers and then try to run away and pray that everything goes well. The carrier count is crazy. Right now, the best move for Block, by the way, would just be to attack the main base of the opponent. That's where all the production is. These bases, they're fun, but it's not that relevant, honestly. You just want to get your interceptors out, you want to get them shooting, and you want to kill production. That's literally all that matters. Big blink forward here from Thunder. Tempest in the back helping out as well. Not the greatest target fire as he switches targets halfway through, but might actually be capable of cleaning up this army, as the Tempest putting in a lot of work. The Stalkers with the upgrades good. And of course the shield upgrades also help for the air unit. So both the carriers and Tempest off Thunder taking less damage than perhaps you would expect.
That is true. That fight went better for Thunder than I would have thought.
Yeah.
And he obviously outmined his opponent by a lot. So even though he traded pretty poorly overall, this is still a competitive game, as he now is working with the superior ground upgrades. And at this point, once the air army is defeated once, I feel like it's very hard to rebuild for Block. He doesn't have that big of an economy anymore either. I feel like Thunder should just keep making ground units now. I really dislike the 6 carries that he's starting. Since those are not that well upgraded, I feel like it's unnecessary. Could attack the left side.
Yeah, I much would have preferred
the
another
base.
12 Stalkers and just taking out a base, just kind of blinking
Yeah.
around. Making sure that your opponent isn't expanding too fast and getting one of your own extra bases up. Because right now, for the first time, Thunder is actually down a base. It's 4 base versus 5. And when it comes to mining bases, it's what, 2.5 versus, well, about 1.5. So yeah, it's actually just down a base. This is actually kind of scary. Income-wise, though, he's still pumping harder than his opponent.
Yeah, it's because Block has like 20 idle workers and it's natural.
That doesn't help.
But yeah, this army is very difficult for Block to engage now. Thunder is using the Tempest nicely. I think it also theoretically you would want to have oracles in games like this, but let's not ask for too much.
Yeah. No, that you don't. It's too much, I think. What you really want to be doing here is add Immortals. I think you pump Immortals so that you can deal with the Stalkers, and then with Tempest Carrier, you should be capable of winning the rest. I love that he's going for double upgrades as well. Like, although I don't necessarily think that air is the correct transition here, at least he's going fully for it. You know, with the double cybernetics core, and he's seriously chrono boosting it. Like, he's serious about Carriers and Tempest. This is not just a phase.
Yeah. No, that's well done by Thunder for sure. I like his army a lot more, and the reason that I think he's in such a winning position is basically just his upgrades. Also, the value of his army at this point is better because he does have more air units. He also has some Immortals. His opponent, most of the army of Block at this point is Stalkers with a couple of carriers.
Yeah.
And now also Tempest. I also feel like at this level, I don't know why they're mixing Tempest and carriers. I feel like you just make one or the other. Like just if you have more carriers. I really doubt they're gonna poke that much that the Tempests are gonna be so valuable, but maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah, because usually they're all used in one control group. We don't really see Oracles. Tempest, honestly, are not that useful if you don't have Oracles, because you need to use the long range for them to really get any serious value. Loving the split off here on the Zealots, though, heading towards the bottom side. Thunder once again figuring out how it's done. We now have a single Tempest that's going to harass the top base here. Block with a ballsy play, especially given the fact that he's seen his opponent have some Tempest as well. Not quite sure what the plan is, but I guess going to take out a couple of workers before he gets spotted. Zealots on the bottom side are going to try to take out this Nexus. That simply won't work. At the same time, we have a mothership on the way. Think of that, Lambo. Cheeky little mothership.
Cheeky little mothership. I always like the mothership being built. I think it's is pretty good. This Tempest looks cool. I sometimes do this with Broodlords where I think it's a cute idea and then the Broodlord just dies right after and I'm like, maybe this was a waste.
Good investment.
Yeah, especially if the other race can warp in Blink Stalkers, I don't think this is it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Use the recall though for it, so at least got something out of that. Thunder, after seeing his zealots get cleared by freaking 20 zealots, now wants to perhaps go for an attack on the top side, which I wouldn't really mind. I actually think that would be a really cool play. There's quite some mining on the top side here for Thunder anyway, so he's defending some important bases. If he could take out a mining base of his opponent and then still get back in time, that would be huge. Instead, he's just going to move towards the middle. Does he have vision of this army? He does now. He's going to go for it. I think he has a much stronger army, no?
He does have a better army, I think, yeah. The Stalkers are blinking forward. Honestly, there's not that much on the ground for Thunder himself, so the Stalkers are doing decently. Most of the carries are dying, and this is almost an even fight, I want to say.
Yeah.
They're very close.
Surprisingly even, honestly. This is kind of wild. Thunder has warped in a bunch of zealots now on the top side, and also still had 2 carriers on the top together with a mothership. That's where a lot of the supply was. This zealot run by... This is the one I'm not a huge fan of, because it happened after a fight rather than during a fight. Meanwhile, though, Tempest are being caught in the middle of the map by the carriers. More zealots now taking out Stalkers as well, as the mothership is helping a little bit here too. Supplies are so close. I'm really surprised by that.
Yeah, me too. I still think Thunder has it, though, for sure. He has a better army. He does have the fresh bases. Block also now has a new fresh base where he really needs to transfer his probes. He still does have all the idle workers on his natural. And the other bases are also oversaturated. So yeah, once he transfers probes, I'm going to start believing a little bit for my boy Block.
Does he really have a better army? Like, if I were to pick a position right now... I mean, I'd pick Thunder because he has more supply. But if it's such a low carrier count... Stalkers are really sick. And they're pretty well upgraded. I guess not the best. Yeah, 3-2-2. It's not terrible.
Block doesn't even have charge.
That's a problem.
I also think Zealots on this level are just much better than Stalkers in a direct fight. Because they don't micro their Stalkers.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
It's only a one... Stalkers have one blink unit. They blink back once and that's it.
Yeah, forward or back. They just go one direction altogether. As it does seem that Thunder is winning this battle here. Gonna get a blink forward on top of this mothership. There are no immortals on the ground anymore to help out, so this blink forward to snipe a Tempest. I really should be going for a unit with the more damage output like the carriers. It's gonna take one more out here. We have some cash in the bank. We'll see a big Stalker warp in, and the bottom side base is mining and is well defended. But income-wise, Block is a little bit ahead. If Block can legit just deny bases on the bottom side, he might just be fine.
He might be, yeah. If he takes defensive fights with the Stalkers theoretically and micros well, he can survive, and then at the same time just a couple zealots towards the bottom.
Or
would
DT.
already deny, yeah, or DT to the bottom. Would deny basically all the fresh mining that Thunder could go for. He now pokes for the Stalkers. He sees the army is not there anymore, which was really lucky. He had no idea where that the army actually left this position, and he just decided to poke, which is obviously safe since he has Stalkers and he can just blink back.
Yeah.
Cleans up some static D, but he really should blink back now. And does so. Nice moves by Block. Thunder blinking forward there also with the DTs.
Yeah, I think the highest tier move right now would be to rotate the Stalkers down, send DTs and Zealots to the top base after you cleared those cannons, right? Yeah, that'd be such a standard move. It's almost predictable. Well, it is predictable, but it's still difficult to deal with because you just don't have any static anymore, and it takes long to set up static. So this rotation here with these Stalkers is freaking perfect. Like, you're gonna catch your opponent out of position, and now there should be a Zealot or a DT or a hybrid warp in at the very top base out of Block, and that should be killing all the mining over there. And I freaking love this Stalker move downstairs as well. This is really nice rotation. This is great movement.
Yeah, good play by Block. He sadly did not have the multitasking to warp in at all. Like, he didn't macro or do anything else.
Yeah.
So he's fully focused on the Stalkers. If he did warp in at the top, he really could. He could have killed the top base for sure, and probably also would have killed a bunch of probes.
Yeah. Yeah, recall's been used as well. Trying to defend that Stalker attack earlier. Like, legit zero macro at all during that. Now ends up warping a bunch of Stalkers in, which is good. probably going to try and go back towards the top side. It's going to meet a
Oh,
portion of
the
the army
carriers.
here randomly. That's a W if he blinks.
That is a W, and he blinks forward, and Thunder is trying to attack the rocks. I don't know why. Completely panicking, losing all of his big air units, and a huge blunder, just leaving them by themselves. It is even also a move command.
Oh,
Now the
attacking
blink-
rocks.
He's still attacking the rocks. Yeah, I don't. That was terrible for Thunder. I don't know. The entire time he had his entire army together, and now this is where you start using a second hotkey for carriers. You can have carriers and zealots on the same control group.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not gonna
fine.
judge you for that. Yeah, it's not.
Not the biggest
That's
deal.
normal.
Yeah. As DTs are going to be blinking in forward, zealots fighting, carriers idling in the natural, once again, probably on a separate hotkey. Block right now with a lot of cash in the bank as well. Does need to be careful because he is being outmined. And he also doesn't quite have the gas mining anymore. He's going to try to attack into this spot. I really feel like a rotation towards the top side would be undefendable at this point for Thunder.
Yeah, or a warp in. You can also just warp in units there.
Yeah.
At any moment. He has a nexus right next to it. Like it's right there. It's not. You don't need to go there with the entire army, but he is rotating. His rotations are really good. The unit movement, I am surprised by very often. they're
Master
making
level stuff
good
right
choices.
here, ladies and gentlemen. Solid rotations. I wish he had charge though.
Alright, he still doesn't have charge.
Yeah.
I figured maybe he would have seen by now.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a ballsy recall as well if you do this with your entire army. You could snipe a carrier, then piss off. One carrier maybe. That's it. Yeah, a little bit late there with the pissing off. Also doesn't have the observer speed yet, so every single time all the observers died. This was not a great trade. And it especially wasn't a great trade because now all of your own bases are kind of in danger. You know, you bait your opponent to come to the top side, and that's where you want to be expanding apparently. Like this is quite scary. I really feel like Thunder has an opportunity here to clear a nexus.
Yeah, for sure. Block basically lured him into making the right move. After killing a bunch of the army, he expanded right next to where he just lost that army.
Yeah.
And now Thunder's army is getting really, really scary. He has a couple of carriers, but he now also has ground units to tank for his unit. Like he has 8 zealots, 5 DTs, which you can't underestimate in this game. Especially since Block lost most of his observers now. And I feel like we're an A move away from clearing this base. And I feel like Block's kind of forced to defend up here. He cannot give up the next space as well. He's trying to micro. It's decent Blinkstalker micro. Still no detection here.
Dude, if I see the carriers attack one more useless structure, like they started by attacking the assimilator, then he must have focused fired on the battery that was halfway done, then went to the next assimilator where his entire army was dying. Like, holy crap. Really, please just put everything in the same control group and just A-move with it on the floor. As he's actually managing to lose this fight, which it shouldn't really be possible. Right now, Block definitely should be trying to move towards the bottom side here, in my mind at least. As he's going to take out one more carrier, but he's going to pay a decent price for that. 4, 5, 6 stalkers going down, every zealot falling as well, as Thunder takes a massive lead here in this game, Lambo.
Yeah, massive lead from Thunder. And Block, I mean, he has shown that he can actually micro his stalkers. I guess his next move would be to expand toward the bottom, but he needs to do counter damage as well, and he just doesn't have that zealot warp in ever on the other side.
Yeah. It's all very one-dimensional play. It's it's a good move, but it's just a single good move at a time. You know, we never have a second move that follows it up. It's never a combination. It's a single good punch, and then he waits for another minute, and he has a bad punch, or he gets punched right back in the face. Double Nexus now, I do really like that. I think this is a good call once more. But these stalkers need to be freaking active if you want to get, well, either one of these Nexi up. Need to be moving downstairs, trying to take out this this bottom base here out of Thunder. Because if you don't get that down, you're just going to get outmined.
Thunder warped Templars again. Probably thinking after he wins this game that Storm is really strong. Didn't use it yet, but did research and he did have the High Templars ready for it. Okay, do you think before this game ends he's gonna actually use a Storm?
No, he's not.
I think he will. I think he will.
He controls the weather, this guy does. Yeah. In his dreams. Oh, no.
What about a Kebab bet for Home Story Cup?
Okay, Kebab bet. He won't use a single Storm.
Yeah, I think he will.
Yeah.
I have trust in my man Thunder.
No shot. Absolutely no. Oh, but he doesn't have the Disruptors in the group anymore. You might
exactly
be right.
No sentry, no Disruptor.
Yeah, I got baited. There goes.
I I do think High Templar should have priority over everything, though, so I think it is the same as before.
Okay.
Like, he worked in a sentry now. I'm not sure about the sentry. I don't think Disruptor should have priority, but I might be wrong. I also don't use them on the same control group.
Yeah.
Just by pure logic, because I feel like Infestors also take priority over everything.
Yeah, I just hope that the Templar go down before if anything big happens. Oh, big
Sword. Yes! That's a came up right there.
Links it forward. It's unbelievable.
You can leave now.
Yeah. A single storm as well. No. Actually, no, he used more. He has no energy anymore. I only saw a single one, but he must have used multiple ones.
Same. Maybe he rapid fired on the same spot.
Colossus now on the way as well behind this. I can't believe Thunder's gonna win the game over here. As 57 supply to 131. Almost no mining left here for Block, who blinks in forward and does really nothing with that blink. It's being outmined in ratio 4-1, which is not great. We have a carrier flank coming in. It's not the greatest move I've seen in my life. Thunder still believes in it. No, pulls it back, but it might be too late for that carrier. He's not gonna see the sweet victory screen anymore as he passes away. As Block's final mining base here gets taken out. We get a blink forward. GG gets called. As Thunder does end up winning. And I lost a doner kebab here in the next home circle. You hate to see it. A terrible way to go down.
I love it. What server was this? I don't think you said it at the start.
That's a good question. Let me see. Server is EU. Submitter is the blue Protoss player. So I was correct on that at least. Do I get to start?
You get to start. I mean, it doesn't matter. I know exactly what MMR this is.
You know exactly what MMR this is.
Yeah.
You need to think. Okay, I think this is 3672.
I put 3769.
Ooh, 3769. Very close. That's what Diamond won?
Yeah, that's Diamond 2. We both guessed Diamond 2.
Okay, I'm okay with that guess. That feels correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's really not much to say about it. Just a lot of things were kind of in the, the ballpark of being good, but not perfect ever. A lot of the fights were kind of funky, but we also had run-bys coming in. The carrier late game army, they both knew how to build it. So they're definitely out of plat here. All right, let's see what the MMR file tells me. Ooh, submitter was Elfie Spy with an MMR of 3691. I think this is probably one of the closest I've ever been.
Wait, what was your guess?
I had
3620?
The 72.
Oh, so okay. Oh wow, that's a really good guess.
Yeah,
but yeah, we were very close. We know our Diamond too.
Yeah, we really,
that's for sure.
We feel our Diamond too. That's sick. All right, that's gonna be it. Another Noobs in Disguise comes to an end. Sad for everyone, but luckily, Lambo, good news for the people at home. We'll be back next week with another episode on the Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central European time. Love to see it. All right, thanks all for watching. Smash like and bye-bye.